Hello everybody, welcome to a rapid speedrun game against Stein 15, rated 1761. He lets us try the King's Gambit. Will he accept? Or will he cower in fear? He cowers in fear, so let's develop our knight towards the center, and now he takes. Okay. So you could go bishop c4. Here I'm going to go d4, looking to get my pawn back and developing while controlling the center. He pins the knight. Maybe he wants to take. Maybe he's looking at queen h4. In any case, we're going to take our pawn back with a better center. He develops a piece. He attacks a pawn. No big deal. We can just develop and defend. Right? Makes a lot of sense. Bishop e7 prepares castling, but our center is a lot better than his. So we don't mind that. We can easily lift our queen, getting out of the pin, potentially long castling, and then we can just pawn storm him and attack his king. If he castles, that's what I'm going to do. If he doesn't castle, okay, he castles, we castle, and I much prefer white's position here. We have a nice aggressive setup, pieces well placed, good development. We're ready to go h3, g4, as his move is slow, doesn't threaten anything. He allows us to pawn storm him for free. And in opposite side castling, you don't want to give your opponents free turns for the pawn storm. So he goes here, which does threaten the pawn a second time. But we do need to develop our last piece anyway and connect our rooks, so we might as well do it to the center, block his threat, and white is just going to crush black from this position. Because this is what happens when black tries to play solid against the King's Gambit, but doesn't really fight for the center. They're going to get steamrolled. So h6, creating a hook on the side of the board we were trying to attack anyway, probably not the best idea. It encourages g5 as opposed to preventing it. There's also rook dg1. If you go h4 and hang the pawn on purpose, then you go h5, hitting his bishop, and it drops back. And then you go rook dg1, hitting the knight. Where does the knight go? Maybe he defends it with the other knight. But then e5 comes. A bit suspicious. You have lots of different ideas. I'm just going to go g5, the most simple, obvious one. Thanks to his hook. The engines sometimes like hanging these pawns and stuff, which is fine, but it's just a 10-minute game, so. Yeah, I could get my knight in, which is interesting. Okay, let's just get that piece a little closer, as it's a close quarters battle combatant. h4, h5 is on the way, rook dg1 is on the way. If the h file opens, queen h2 is on the way. I don't know. He moves his knight to the side, hits this, threatens a trade. I think we want to play h5 anyway, so let's go h4 so we don't waste any turns. We're just furthering our plan. Whatever he takes, we'll just take back. And if he's not going to take the bishop, why do he put his knight there? The knight undefends this square, so now our knight can hop in to a reasonable square. As a matter of fact, you could have done it last turn. But okay, h4. Okay, so now he stops us from going here. He wants to go b5, b4. But he's a little slow, I would think. So I'm thinking rook dg1, getting that in the right position. Let's do that. The rook gives a little extra support to the h-file. Maybe we can even sack for the bishop at some point. We'll see. This knight we can dislodge in 2 moves with our other knight that he's going to try to attack anyway. So let's see what he does. He has to play extremely accurately to try not to lose, which isn't easy. f6 immediately blunders the fork, right? If you take, you open the h-file. If you take the bishop, okay, you get the bishop, but again, h-file. So it's not clear. If you go for the b5 plan, I mean, I'm already going this way anyway. And it's very slow. 1, 2, 3, at least 4 turns. So, slow. Because he moved his c-pawn, he weakened the d-pawn. So now queen h2 actually comes with a threat, oddly enough. Maybe he just replaces the knight and goes all in on defense. But instead, he went c6 and now c5, which clearly doesn't make any sense to move it twice when you could have played c5 from the start. Downside is it gives up this square. So not a good move by him, as we have this outpost. Pretty sure I'm just going to hang this pawn because I don't care about it, and jump my knight to the beautiful square. See what he does. Now this knight is on the queen side, protecting my king. It usually doesn't contribute to a king side attack because it's far away, but here we can even use it to contribute by just removing a defender, let's say. We're hanging the pawn on purpose. We don't care, as time is of the essence in opposite side castling. So what's he going to do? Yeah, we still have queen h2, which is good because it supports the h-file, supports the dark square diagonal, and comes with that threat. Okay, he just improves the knight, challenges our knight. It's a move, I guess. It releases the pressure from this knight. I say we take his bishop, so we have the only dark square battery, and we kind of control the dark square complex pretty nicely. So now this pawn is a little loose. We could push it and dislodge his defenders, namely his knight. He might throw in some trades, but that would just help our rook look at his king, since the bishop's not in the way. And okay, he's trading a bunch of stuff, but our rooks are well positioned after the trades. h5 might hurt him. His rooks aren't in the game. Our king is safe. If he takes a bishop and we take a knight, we're hitting his queen. If he then takes the pawn, we can take the piece. So I don't think he can maybe intermezzo this. If he takes here, we're going to take with the d pawn, kicking the knight again. So I'm not sure how he's supposed to respond to e5. e5 is a move that often signals a kingside attack, as it makes sure that the king's best defender isn't there on f6. And his position's looking awkward. Very uncomfortable to try to defend this. Try to think what move you would make from black here, and also what you would do with white. If he does just move the knight or something, right, like a casual move, then you could take this, and he takes, and now double isolated targets, open king, right? So you have new possibilities. What did he do? Okay, he takes our dark square bishop because he wants to free up some space over here. So he took a piece. If we take a piece, he's going to hit our queen. We could actually counter hit his queen. But then if he moves his queen, it's whatever. What if we take this piece? We're hitting his queen, but then he can take this with check. So when we take back, so he got a piece, we got a piece. He gets another piece, we get the second piece. He gets the pawn. Oh no, the bishop's here too. If we take this guy, he takes backwards. So he got a piece, we get a piece. He gets a second piece, we get a second piece. He gets a pawn. So I guess we just have to take the knight and go down this line. Now there's bishop here, there's knight here, so he's surely gonna attack our queen, right? If you go to the center, you actually don't stop h5 in the future. So I'm expecting knight h5. And then maybe we go for that pawn. We get a pawn, he gets a queen. We get a queen, he moves over. We could try that. There's also, he goes to the side. I guess we'll just go for that line because I really don't want to move my queen. Like you move it somewhere and then he, I don't know, starts trading stuff, adds a rook. A bit lame. But at least he's thinking, so that's good for him, right? That's how he's supposed to improve. He is down to 3.5 minutes though. So we do have a nice advantage, which is not usually the case. And a clock advantage, folks, is extremely real. Like these 3 minutes, it's kind of like a pawn. So he intermezzos, he doesn't do what I expected. He takes the pawn. Probably to avoid that line. Because he's hitting our queen, I mean, we just have to take back. And now he's going to hit our queen. Okay, but he doesn't go to h5, which I feel like is wrong. If we go here, we're threatening h5 and the knight. He'll probably grab a pawn. h5 comes. He gets a bishop. We get a bishop. He puts a rook here. I mean, it gets kind of tactical, but that's what happens when you attack people's kings. Do we have better? Kind of like this move. I'm going to go for it. Now, if he takes here... Oh, he just takes the bishop first. So now we take here and threaten mate in 1, which he'll miss, and take this. Okay. Well, I knew he'd miss it, so there we go. Thank you for the win. Okay, so he played King's Gambit accepted, Fischer defense, Bobby Fischer's preferred method of playing d6. So we did have a blunder when we were attacking his king. We kind of gave him a chance to equalize, but we were better the entire time. You see this dip? This is us ruining an advantage, but then getting it back because he must have missed whatever resource the engine sees. So that happens in attack. Sometimes you mess it up and you give your opponent a defensive resource. That's okay. They have to find it. So we have the King's Gambit, development and center, and center developing for free. Okay, taking our pawn back, development for free. Development center defense. Development center king safety. King safety development. Improving our position, starting a pawn storm for free. Improving our, this was one of our mistakes. So what was the, oh, so e5 was just super strong. When you can kick a knight, you should consider it. I did not consider it. If we kick, yeah, he can't actually go to the center. So it's a super strong move dislodging this. You can always include g4 after. So it's just a better, stronger, more forcing move than this. Because after you provoke this and this, now e5 allows knight e4 with the bishop support. So it would have been more accurate to do it a little bit sooner and remove that possibility. Fine. I still have 9 minutes and 42 seconds, even though we're this deep in the middle game, so I was moving very quickly. So anyway, development, center, and defense, I still like white's position. Now, it's the best move, e5 or g5, both hitting the knights, also queen g2. Okay, so improving our position for free and messing with his development. He takes, so force move one way or the other. Bishop takes is stronger, but okay. So you could play h4, you could put a rook in g1, or you could save the bishop. All of them are fine and playable. So if you were thinking of one, there you go. So we improve our position, add a little extra defense to the dark squares, and boom. Getting our least active piece in, x-raying the king towards a semi-open file, strong. Okay, improving a piece for free. And this is our second mistake. They're saying that we give him a lot of the advantage. We don't give him the advantage, we lose some of our advantage if we get rid of this very active knight and help him trade a little bit. So the line for the maximum advantage is we get the pawn, he gets the knight, we get the knight, he gets the bishop, we get the knight, he gets the pawn back. And okay, apparently the attack is just super strong now with queen g4, h5, h6. Queen g4, if he takes knight e6, threatening mate. Okay, so it hinges on some like weird tactics and engine stuff. You could see it if you have a lot of time and want to calculate all that, but we're just making literally like moves one at a time. So we take this, he takes back, white's still better. Now we play e5, center, improving a piece, dislodging his knight. He takes our bishop, we have to take back. He takes the pawn, we have to take back for free. He hits our queen. We have to go somewhere. Now this is our blunder. Apparently, the only move to crush him is queen g3. Oh yeah, because it has the battery with the rook. And after h5, you're going to have tactics like wherever the bishop goes, move the knight out and threaten mate or win something. Fine. So we went here, and this gives him the opportunity to save the game. He's not better, but to not get mated by the move I thought he was going to play, which was this. And then If you try h5, he's going to jettison it. You take, this guy's protected. Now you're threatening mate, so he has to force the queen trade. And that's why it's drawish, because he forces the queen trade. I see. And then you're just in an endgame where you're really not going to get to his king that badly because you don't have enough pieces, but I still prefer black. It's just not like anything. So okay, we gave him the opportunity to get back in the game. It's kind of a complicated game. If instead we went to the g3 square, now he can't take this. If he starts with the bishop trying to lure you away, he still can't take it because of the mate. And he can't force the queen trade with the pawn here, so that's the difference. He'll try to stop mate, and then we can take the knight. I see. So it was just a tactic that worked. And if he does a random move, everything's winning. Because this and this, I mean, it's still complicated. You still have to calculate all this stuff, and it's like, it's not easy. And also, I wasn't going to calculate any of that because I'm way too lazy to go that deep into lines. So, okay, we gave him one opportunity to go into an equal position and play an endgame. Fine. He doesn't find it. Instead, he makes a trade that's automatically losing because, again, we're back in, we transposed into the winning line where if you went queen g3 and he takes the bishop, because it's the same thing, we're threatening mate and the knight. He defends the knight, walks into the mate. So cool game. We had the advantage the entire time. Gave him one opportunity, he didn't find it, and that's how chess goes. So good luck in your chess. See you in the next one. Goodbye.